Well, here we are again, my good friends. Welcome back to Healthy and Wealthy with Coach Lou. That means it's Tuesday night, guys. So let's talk about your health tonight. All right. So you think you're healthy, huh? Think again. What is health anyway? Do you think you're healthy? I mean, seriously, tell me the truth in the chat here, guys. Let me know and make sure all my chats are up and running. Let me know what you think is the picture of health. What is healthy? What is your best bet as far as what you eat? Do you exercise? Do you get enough rest? Are you stressed out? Do you breathe right? Do you get enough hydration? Oh my God, this week I've had a little bit of a wake up call. I do not drink enough water. And everybody thinks I'm Mr. Healthy and I drink all the water in the world. And the thing is I get to going and get to going. And even I forget to drink water. Crazy. So I want to share a story with you. Years ago, Lexi had a friend of ours, and his name was Uncle Kevin to Lexi. Kevin was one of our awesome auctioneers that worked with me on the car circuit, and just the type of guy that would give you the shirt off his back, raising his kids on his own, providing well for them, teaching them well, very moralistic, good guy. Problem was Kevin smoked. Kevin drank. Kevin drank too much of the garbage coffee, and he had a serious family history of high cholesterol. So we would, ride down together to West Palm Beach, and I'd get in. We'd do the auction down there, so he'd come pick me up. I'd jump in. We'd carpool down there. I'd jump in the car. I'd have my protein shake. Kevin would have a cigarette and a cup of coffee cooking. I'm like, dude, can you put that out, please? Please. You're killing yourself. Number one, I don't want to smell it and I don't want to breathe it in all the way down, but man, that's not breakfast. He's like, I got to die of something. And that's exactly how he sounded. My grandma lived to be 90 and she had cholesterol of 400. You're going to be the one that's going to drop dead eating those protein shakes and stuff. We always used to joke back and forth, but I was pretty darn serious. I was like, I'm really concerned. One day I get a phone call for a friend in common, Kevin's best friend for years and years and years. And he's just beside himself, broken up. And he's like, Lou. And I'm like, oh no, this can't be good. I can tell by the voice. Our friend passed away working on one of his rental houses. Very successful guy, nicest guy in the world. The only problem with Kev was he died at 45 years old, leaving behind two children that depended on him. I mean, they were a little bit older then. He had great kids and they've done well. Kind of followed up and made sure and checked and watched them, grow over the years. They both did really well. But it was like, oh my God, 45 years old. Can you all imagine? Just saying, I don't know if you're 45 yet. You're older than 45. You're older than 45. Just imagine if you had to rewind everything you've lived since you were 45 years old and give it all back. Didn't get to see those experiences. Didn't get to hold grandkids. Didn't get to, see your kids graduate, get married, whatever. Just think of what you would be giving up. And if you're like 44, what if you were on your last year of life? Woo, pretty crazy stuff, guys. I'm just saying. This was heartbreaking to all of us, all the friends, the family, everybody, and it was just a horrible loss of a great person. And the thing is again, that was a great person gone too soon. That's the moral of the story. I mean, I could sit there and say we argued about the smoke and the this and that, and I'm right, you're wrong. None of that. It was just a very good friend and who we considered family to us, just gone in a heartbeat. And, could it have happened anyway? Yes. I mean, anything could happen. You could walk out and get hit by a bus. But that's why one of the reasons I'm so dang passionate about your health and wealth, and especially your health being H1 and number one, because of the fact that I lost a very good friend to probably a lifestyle situation. Now, some people say there could have been a defect in his heart. It could have happened anyway, no matter how healthy he was. You know what? You could be right. but I'm going to err on the side of lifestyle has a lot to do with this. And this is why I put the time and effort and energy into doing these shows, creating the courses I create for you, basically coming on here and preaching wellness. Now, what I'm not preaching is a specific diet or, become a vegetarian or a thisitarian or that or this or that. What I am talking about is finding out what works for you that you can implement and sustainable that you can live with, okay, and enjoy and still be able to live healthy. And healthy is not walking through the grocery store and seeing healthy snack on a box of cereal or on cereal bars you give your kids that could sit on the counter for 6 months and never mold. If a loaf of bread sits more than 6 days or 6 hours even without starting to mold, you got a problem. The only bread you should eat, and I'm not a huge proponent of bread, would be the one you got to keep in the fridge or in the freezer, because otherwise it'll be moldy in a day or two. Same thing with your veggies and snacks, guys. I don't even know how to begin to say that it's not always the fat content or the sugar content. Sometimes it's the chemical content of your foods that might be coming and getting you. Okay. So I want to teach you a new word today. It's called bio-individuality. And you're like, that sounds pretty deep, coach. Okay. What it is everybody is bio-individual. Okay. So for instance, I am not a big fan of wheat products, potato starches, and stuff like that. So, and I'm going to give you a quick disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, not a chiropractor, not a wealth practitioner, just a coach with some really good ideas. And I've walked it. I've been overweight, I've been underweight, been everywhere in between. I've been in top shape. I've been, barely able to walk at one point, due to a surgery. But, these are things that, I bounced back from not being able to walk to the mailbox not 6-7 months ago, to quickly getting back into the swing of things. Am I 110%? Well, I'm getting there. Not where I was. My goal, I'm doing 90-day sprint right now. And that goal is to be healthier and in better shape than I was 10 years ago. Okay. So, and 10 years ago, I was not in bad shape. That's easy sometimes. Sometimes it's easy to do if you're, really overweight 10 years ago or really unhealthy, and now you're kind of healthier, kind of at a better weight. No, I am not as in good a shape as I was 10 years ago. So I want to get back there. But I'm still in really good shape for 10 years after that. And considering, doing the surgery stuff in January and all that, it put a little monkey wrench in there for a while. Took me, anybody tells you, oh, the new robotic surgery, and I'll be candid with you, it was hernia surgery, 3, bad stuff. Okay. 3 is not as easy to recover from as 1, number 1. Number 2, that robotic stuff tears up a lot when they go to get to where they're going to. So anyway, long story short, it took me a while I thought I was going to run a race 3 weeks after the surgery. Needless to say, that race got canceled. But the fact of the matter is everybody's bio-individual. So let me get into that, because that's really what I'm coming to talk to you about tonight. So I'm not a big fan of wheat products and stuff like that. They don't respond well in almost everybody's bodies. So I eat almond flour waffles. Okay, I love waffles. Hey, it's the way it is. I used to buy these ones I thought was healthy at Whole Foods. Not wheat, not this, not that, and grain-free. Potato starch. No better for the body. Okay. So, you trade one evil for another, and not so cool. So I went from that to going to, we make the almond flour waffles at home, then put them in the freezer. How cool is that? Literally. So the deal is they're delicious. They don't respond like wheat in the body. They're not inflammatory. They're absolutely amazing. They have a little better protein count, a good fiber count. There's a lot to be said good. If you're not allergic to almonds. Folks, if you're allergic to almonds, that could kill you. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about, the bioindividuality. I can sit here and preach to you and say all day long, my God, this is why an almond flour waffle is better than a regular waffle. This is why this is why that. And then you tell me, Coach, I'm allergic to almonds, so kill me. Well, in that case, please don't eat them. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, bioindividual. Okay, we also talk about, like maybe people with zinc deficiencies, oftentimes their doctors will say, hey, eat more seafood, eat more shellfish. And let me tell you, it'll pump your zinc up. Unless you're allergic to shellfish and you have anaphylactic shock if you eat shellfish, then that is not a good way to get your zinc. I think you're getting my drift here, aren't you? Getting the drift, guys. So, where does this leave us? It probably leaves you just a little more confused than we started. You're like, great. Now, I think I'm going to come to you for answers, Coach. I think we're going to walk away and know, what to do. Well, yes. Okay, but what to do does have a lot to do with your bioindividuality. First and foremost, do no harm. Do not eat something just because it's good for me that you're allergic to that's bad for you. Or the flip side to that is some people go better on a little higher protein. Some people are a little better on a little higher fat. A semi-keto is probably good for most. And then some people are absolutely best off on a raw vegetarian type diet. I've done them all. I will say raw vegetarian, I felt like $1,000,000. Wow. Couldn't hold muscle mass as much. Had a little trouble. There wasn't enough protein available there. So I went to what they call pescatarian. I added fish in, which was a great step, and it was great. Now, people always say to me, well, what kind of a tarian are you, Coach? I am a flexitarian. I eat from mostly all food groups. I do try to avoid a lot of the nightshades. Yes, that includes tomatoes. If you're going to do tomatoes, guys, and there's a lot of good to tomatoes, de-seed them. De-seed them. Those seeds inside of them are toxic. Then you have, what's the other nightshade? The eggplant. I used to, when I was vegetarian, I used to love veal parmesan. Buffalo, New York. Chefs on the lake. Veal parm. Best. Problem was when I went vegetarian, I'm like, well, I need a better option. So I'm like, I'll eat eggplant parmesan instead. And it would make me feel sick. And I'm like, this is supposed to be the better choice. And it wasn't, because of the fact it's a nightshade. It's toxic to your digestive system. This is what I'm talking about with the bioindividuality. Okay. I tolerated a meat better than the vegetable, even though the vegetable and technically would usually be the thing that most people you would think would tolerate better. These are the little keys and secrets to figuring out what your bioindividual system is. When you eat something and you genuinely feel good and energetic and clean, there's a good chance there's something in there, a nutrient that you need, number one. Number two, that's probably something that's a good food for you. Now, please don't tell me that you eat cupcakes and feel better. You might get a sugar spike, but nobody, and I say nobody, is going to eat sugary, cakey, processed food and ultimately feel better. Okay, some people do decent on rice, where other people, if they eat rice, their hands swell and they're miserable. Some people do well on raw vegetables more as opposed to more cooked. Now, if you overcook them, you kill the enzymes, you kill a lot of the nutrient of a vegetable. So I'm more of a raw kind of guy when it comes to that. But that's my bioindividuality. Okay. So these are the type of things where that's where I want to talk with you about and just get you to understand what is basically your blueprint of what works for you. Now, there are some basic guidelines: high sugar, high processed sugar, a lot of wheat, dairy. Everybody's somewhat lactose intolerant. Whether you actually feel bloated or feel bad or not, it still irritates your digestive system. Okay. Some people do really well with egg proteins. I'm one of those people. I love egg proteins. Some people don't do well with egg proteins because they're allergic. Okay. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be as hard as you think, because there are some basics. Basically, the closer to the way nature or God made it, fresh, raw, better to have a salad than, a stew that's been cooked all day. There's nothing live left in that stew that's been cooked all day. If you're going to eat meat, and, I mean, some people choose not to, some people choose to. That's up to you. But I've never met a healthy vegan. I've never met a vegan that looks super healthy. Now, somebody's going to rear up right now and tell me, Coach, that's my belief. I don't believe in eating animal products. Okay, I am okay with that. Now, if you're a vegan, the criteria is no animal products. The criteria should be, okay, if you're vegan, no animal products, no processed sugars. You go into the vegan restaurant and they have all these sugary snacks and this, that, and the other. And it's like, hold on. And peanuts, everything's covered in peanuts. And it's like, those are allergens, guys. This is why I say you've got to look at it. And instead of trying to identify with a particular dietary, find what works for you. Flexitarian, I find, is the best, where you get a little bit of all food groups, but you really balance that out. I eat a whole lot more vegetables than I do meat. Okay. And that's a personal, I feel better when I do that. I eat fruit. Some people don't touch fruit. Oh no, too high in sugar. Bodybuilders and stuff. Well, you're missing out on a lot of antioxidants and a lot of other stuff. Now I do choose, if I'm going to eat fruit, I do choose fruit that is a lower glycemic. Berries are a better choice if you have, any blood sugar issues or anything than, say, would be pineapple. Pineapple is super loaded with the sucrose, the easy burn fast, dirty sugar. Okay, you don't want to necessarily do that, but blueberries are amazing. They're not really high in sugar, but they have all kinds of antioxidants. This is where you pick your battles, pick your choices, and go, okay, and plus they taste really dang good. All right. So these are the type of things you look at and go, what fits my needs? Mango is another amazing, absolutely nutrient loaded, but also loaded with digestive enzymes that help if you have digestive issues. And again, I'm not coming to you as a doctor. I'm not selling you some kind of cure today by how you eat. I'm talking to you about cleaning it up. Okay? This is important. So you think you're healthy, then you start talking to me about what you eat, and that you really don't exercise, but you work hard. I work hard at work. Not quite the same. You got to elevate your heart rate. You got to work the muscles in a certain way to failure and stuff. There's so many factors. Now, is it impossible to find out how to do this stuff? No. It's on every website, every corner. There's a training studio. There's a nutritionist. There's this. But there again, you got this guy over here and this guy over here. Let's take Dr. Gundry, for instance, and compare him with Dr. Berg. Dr. Gundry will tell you that a lot of fruits and vegetables are bad. He's right in a lot of cases, like the nightshades. There's some toxicity there. Same thing with, what I learned from him is, like, you want to eat something like quinoa or any of those other alternative grains, you still have to pressure cook them to get rid of that what they call lectin on the shell that's toxic. It's supposed to protect the plant. But then, okay, Gundry makes a lot of sense. And then he says something stupid like, and sorry, doc, well, our body has plenty of water in it. You don't need to consume a lot of water during the day. It'll recycle its own water. Yeah, if you want to live in a cesspool, dude. Okay. Then you got Dr. Berg over here going, okay, yeah, you could do the right vegetables, but you're a little more on the keto side and this, that, and the other. And you must drink a lot of water. Two very qualified doctors. One tells you your body has enough water. You really don't have to drink much or any. And where that would come from, I don't know. And then you got Dr. Berg over here going, yeah, water and electrolytes. And you go, well, who's right? In certain little pieces of each of their teachings, they're both right. Okay. But when it comes to the water thing, yeah, I know. But Dr. Gundry does have a point with the lectins and stuff like that. He's a brilliant heart surgeon. Healed a lot of people without surgery. But I can't stand by the don't drink water and, your body has enough of it. It does not. And then we got Dr. Berg once in a while, comes up with a little too heavy on the keto. And funny enough is one of my disagreements with Dr. Berg, and I hope he's listening because I'd love to have him on the show. I absolutely love him. He's an amazing dude. For a while, we had a little disagreement because he's big on intermittent fasting. Okay, I'm a big proponent of fasting too. But he did the old school intermittent fasting where you don't eat until like noon, 1, 2, 3, or 6 o'clock at night. You eat that meal and that's your evening meal, and then you fast until the next day. Why are you eating before bed? It's always blown my mind. Why do you not kickstart your metabolism with breakfast? I've always been a huge proponent of breakfast, and I'm like, I like the guy's teaching and I learn a lot from him. But I'm like, ooh, that doesn't resonate with me. Of course it doesn't. I'm a breakfast dude. I told you I love waffles. Okay. So I do the different form of intermittent fasting where I get up and eat, and maybe I don't eat until the next day. Or maybe I eat until noon and then I don't eat till 6 the next morning. It just all depends on the day and what my outcomes for that is. Intermittent fasting is a whole different conversation for a whole new day. But I would, I kind of bump heads with him on that one because he, and I just watched one of his trainings the other day, and he's like, I've switched my model. I kind of believe that for me, it works best to eat in the morning and then fast till the next day. And I'm like, yay, we're on the same page. A doctor I respect highly is on the same page as fasting with me, so he must be right now. You caught that, didn't you guys? You see, but sometimes that works good for me, and that I find works really well for most people I know. Some people still do better on the other form of intermittent fasting where they eat at night and don't eat until the next day and all that. Me, eat in the morning, don't eat till the next day. I feel like $1,000,000. So, but those are things you find out your bio-individuality. Where is your sweet spot that it works best for you? And this really, when you dig into it, your bio-individuality, what you find out is before you start onto a dietary change and exercise and you get on that journey, you really need to go get a physical. Definitely talk to your doctor. I'm going to recommend that. Now, they don't always give you the answers, or they might say, oh, this is quacky, or that's weird, or fasting doesn't work. If they're too structured in the standard, maybe you need to talk with another doctor. If they're supportive and they say, well, I don't totally agree with that, but it might work for you, it might be in the right track and maybe be with the right doctor. But get your blood work done. That's the important thing. Get all your tests and not just the 3 or 4 that they normally do. Get the ApoB done. Get all these things done. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but get them done. And then you can have a baseline. 90 days later, 6 months later, you continue on with your journey, and you're doing this and you're finding out what works. Oh, guess what? Ooh, now you got a comparison. You got a baseline. Here's where I started. Here's where I'm at 90 days, 6 months in, a year in. And that kind of tells the truth. I think that's the reality. That kind of tells the truth. Do you feel better? Are you lighter? Do your bathroom habits better? Do you sleep better? Are your intimate stuff better? Is your skin better? Your hair better? And how about your blood? What's changed in your blood work? Now, those are the type of markers where you can go, these are measurable things. This isn't just because I said it. If you're not eating any vegetables and drink Coca-Cola all the time and you're eating Big Macs, I'm going to tell you, that is not the thing to do. Okay? I'm going to tell you, if you switch over to mostly vegetables, you dump the Coca-Colas and you start drinking water and staying hydrated and making sure your electrolytes are good and watching your blood levels of everything, you are going to see change. And it's going to be transformation type change. If you keep eating the other way, you're going to see change, and it's going to be in the form of an emergency room, hospital stays, surgeries, illness, medications, and everything else. Now, you're like, okay, cool. Coach is going to guarantee me if I eat right, I'm never going to be sick, or I'm never going to Uh, Never going to. Travis, I'm not sure what that means. Oh, buddy. Help me out with that one. I don't think that's what he meant. Oh, maybe. Okay, we're going to leave that one alone for now. Um, that's funny, Travis. I think I'm going to leave that one alone. I think that's something that's between you and your other half. Either that or that could have been a typo. Thank you for a good one. That definitely that caught me off guard there. That threw me. Where were we? Discovering your bio individuality. I don't think anything that makes you happy is bad as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. Okay, there's my answer to that one. And I'm going to leave it at that. If you need to follow up and let me know exactly where we were going with that one, I can go and talk with you more about that. So, what do you think, guys? Tell me. What are you taking away from today? Are you going to add more vegetables? Are you going to get some exercise in? We went all into dietary tonight. Did you notice that? I didn't even touch on the other stuff. Okay, so what do you think of this? Exercise. Oh, the E word. Lou, I don't like to exercise. I don't like to sweat. I don't like the stinky gym. There's 101 different things you could not love about exercise, etc. Okay, I know this, but exercise, the key to it is to find out what is fun. What do you enjoy? Do you enjoy walking outdoors? That's better than walking on a treadmill, I would have to say. Okay, I don't really love the treadmill. Don't ask me to run down the street. Please don't ask me to run down the street on the sidewalk. I'm done in a quarter mile. Put me out on the trails. Right now I'm good for 2 to 4 miles. But there were times when I was, 12, 13 miles running the dirt trails and, out in the rugged woods and loving every minute of it. And, that's freaking amazing. See, I enjoy that. What if you go, for instance, swimming? I don't want to lift weights, but I like to swim. That's not me. I like to lift weights. But, that's better than sitting on the couch watching the Olympics swimming. Okay? You can't sit there. I love, and this is just my favorite. Somebody watching a football game. Hey, that idiot! He fumbled! Oh, he got sacked! Stupid idiot! Should have thrown the ball! Should have hit a wide open receiver! What's the matter with this? And this big blob that's screaming at the TV wouldn't last 30 seconds on the field, let alone 3 seconds. And you're going to tell the seasoned athlete how to play the game. Now, I don't care if you're a big blob or if you're a seasoned athlete. I really don't. I don't judge you. You might be going, hey, that hurt my feelings. I'm a big blob. Well, if it does, do something about it. And I'm here to help. But my point is it's so funny when people do stuff like that. Oh, I would have done it this way, or I do that. And you ought to do. Well, you ought to do. What you ought to do is be able to do before you try to tell somebody else what to do. Okay? I'm not coming to you going, I read it in a book somewhere and took a test and got a certification somewhere. I'm coming from you. I've walked these shoes. I gained 40 more pounds, 45, 50 more pounds, actually closer to 50 more pounds than I weigh now at one point in my life. And it wasn't looking good. My health wasn't looking good. And I was like, you know what? Time to make a change. And I did. Massive change. Okay. So what I'm talking about, guys. So exercise, if you're stuck on the sofa and you're super big and there's no way in heck you're going to run, get out there and walk. While you're doing dishes, do some calf raises at the sink. Okay? This is stuff you can do. Lunchtime at the office, don't go sit there and order Burger King, McDonald's, or all that and sit around in the break room. Go for a walk. Have a juice or a protein shake already made and go for a walk around the building 4 or 5 times during lunch instead of sitting there eating sugary, snacky garbage. Okay. That's where it starts. That's where it starts on the fitness side. Okay. So what do you think of this, guys? Tell me. What do you think? Oh, isn't that cute? I did that with my hand, and then one of my output channels starts with the little roly thing. Yeah. So seriously, I think we might be locked up, guys. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, I'm back live with you. We froze up for a second there. So anyway, so we got exercise, we got stress relief. Okay, you can't be super stressed all the time and be fit and healthy because your cortisol is through the roof. All right, these are all things that you get to cover. Now, I've run a little bit later than I wanted to this evening, and I know you guys have families and probably some work to do to be ready for work tomorrow, as do I. So I'm going to cut you loose, but I'm going to post a couple little links here. I'm going to post a link to Heals. I have this 30-day course that covers all the 7 pillars of your health. Okay. It's an amazing course, guys. And especially because I wrote and orchestrated and shot all the video and did the whole thing. But it's absolutely amazing. I'd love to have you take advantage of that. And you're probably like, oh God, here's the $1,000 sales pitch. No, it's $99 lifetime access, including all updates. But it's 30 days of getting into your dietary, your exercise, getting into your stress relief, your breathing, your hydration, fasting, all that stuff. And in a simple, easy way, just like when we're talking now, I'm teaching you just like this on a video platform, but you get to go back to it and back to it. By the way, you can catch me back on our nxlratelife.com on our website. All of these are in our blogs. So all these trainings, when we're live like this, you can go back and watch them again too. But Heals get you that 30-day intensive. You're going to come out the other side of that, which is about every single tool you need to turn your health and your fitness and everything in the direction that you want it, so you can start having that energy you deserve. But great stuff. Look forward to it, and give me some input, guys. Is this the right time of night to be doing this show for you? I definitely want to make sure that we're reaching as many people as possible. Help me out. Share the show if you're watching on a venue where you can like, follow, etc. Please do. Comment. Please do. Ask questions. I will respond. And there's a lot of good stuff out here to do together. I'd love to see you healthier, wealthier, wiser, and just loaded with energy. Guys, live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dreams. I'm going to sign off for this evening. This is Coach Lou. Ciao for now. Until the next roundabout, have an amazing evening.